Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. And hello there, Protox. Welcome back. So, I started this one last time, and man, just getting my ideas down made me tired. But I think it's all pretty alright. I think I want to change the composition just a little bit, but then I plan on just getting right into her hand here. I'll probably do this one a little bit later. But you know, if I'm feeling ambitious, maybe I'll just do both of them today. Who knows? We shall see. Normally, I like to just get the whole face done. So that's kind of the plan there. And, oh man, hold on. I need my transparency masks. They should not move. They should stay right where they are. So I'm going to go ahead and lock all of them before I start moving stuff around here. And hopefully that will keep things hidden where I want them to be hidden. Okay, that seems accurate. Alright, let's try that again. Yeah, there we go. Oh, is the back hair not within Malice group? Because it should be. Okay, here, let's try to do things here. Just gotta wrangle my layers together, and I'm pretty sure that I brought this out of a group at one point for clipping reasons, but I think I can just... Yeah, the back hair should not be within the body group. It currently is, and that's definitely no good. Okay. Let's wrangle the layers, and then I can do stuff. It's okay, it's very important. Okay, so now is the hair in Malice group. Perfect. Alright. Layers wrangled. Now let's fix things. The downside to having many a layer. Alright, and last time I held off on doing the hands because I wanted to get a good reference I could use. And I got one. I took a picture of my hand again. So hopefully this time I won't draw it backwards. Okay, let's see. I just want it to be a little bit more bust up rather than waist up. So I get the feeling I'm going to have to increase the size of the canvas. But you know, that's fine. That's easy enough to do. Okay. Let's see, I think I want a little bit of the dress showing. I think I might have her torso drawn a little bit too long at the moment. Just double checking my other reference images there. So I think I can probably go to about here. I will increase the size of the canvas before I do anything further. But it might be nice if her chest is hanging out of the shape I have right here. I think that kind of suits the kind of design she has. So, before I do any other bit of wrangling, I'm gonna fix the size of the canvas here. I'm also just considering making everything a little bit smaller. This canvas is already quite large, and I don't think I need to change the aspect ratio or anything. I might. Okay, in that case, if I'm making everything smaller, I do want to change the size of my transparency masks. So I will unlock those, and now I can go in. There we go. I guess just for reference here, if you look by my head, just right over here, you'll notice that, you know, Krita has these little lock things next to some of the layers here. So not this one, but this one. And this basically stops you from being able to do anything at all to that layer. So I use it a lot when I'm wanting to change large groups of things. Like, if I scooch over just a little bit, you can look at my layer orders here, where I imagine it's difficult to read here, but this top layer is a group called Everything, and it has literally everything in it. So anytime I want to change the size of everything, I can just transform on that group. And then the one right below it is just called Malice, which would let me change everything about the character should I want to, which, you know, with my process happens often. So that's why I do it. I don't always have everything layers, but when I have a picture that I intend to have a transparent background with, it's pretty normal. So that this way I can move things around more easily. Since, you know, all this gray stuff, not going to be in the final picture. But there you go. That's how I have been structuring some of this stuff. As you can see, I'm going to have to do some cleanup after this, but that's fine. Very doable. Okay. It does look like I am going to have to make the canvas a little bit taller. Perhaps this hand might be just a little bit far out, but that's kind of what it's looking like at the moment. So let's see. I want to do as much as I can without changing the canvas size, but I will not constrain myself to the current size of the canvas. That's basically how I'm going to handle this. Let me see. So I have a shadow layer somewhere. Is that you? Sure is. Okay. I'll go ahead and grab that too. And we'll just move the whole hand a little bit further back here. Okay, I have to do the whole sleeve. That's fine. I wanted to move the whole thing. Still just trying to do as much as I can without changing the size of the canvas. Because looking at it, it might actually be pretty alright just like this. Okay. Looks like it does have to be just a little bit bigger. I want to clean up some of this other stuff floating around here. I'm not actually sure what layers those are. Let's see, I think I'll just edit the transparency mask here for now. Just have it cover this entire lower area. This entire corner. And actually, I can make my life easy, because they all do about the same thing. Oh. Okay, no I can't, never mind. I thought that I could copy and paste them easily, but does not appear so. That's okay. I'll just do it manually for now. I can be more particular about my transparency masks and whatnot a little bit later. Okay. So yes, I do think I need to make the canvas just a little bit taller. I don't think I want that hand to be... Well, I want it to be a little bit smaller, actually, I think. It's a little bit large now. Like, it should be large relative to her head. I want it to look like it's coming forward, but not like that far forward. Like, she's not really extended it up and outward. It's just a, you know, an invitation to take her hand if you so want. Not like she's reaching out. Okay. Where's my hand layer again? So let's just make it... I'm gonna get the sleeve too. And we'll just make it just a little bit smaller. Okay. And for things with the transparent background, I don't mind going like right up to the edge. I think I've said in the past that such things normally feel a little bit uncomfortable if you do that, so you want to leave a little bit of breathing room. Not the case with transparent images, in my opinion. For the sake of making it look okay on Twitter, since it does fill it in with white, I might still leave a little bit of space, but for the most part, I can go all the way to the edge. Where's my... Here we are. Resize canvas. I just want it to be a bit taller. But I might change that a little bit. We'll see. Okay, I'm just gonna put in my neutral gray here, just because I find it easier to draw on. And I think I want to move everything a little bit to the right there. And then I think I want to change this shape just a little, which means that I should rotate all of my transparency masks with it. Okay. So I kind of want to experiment with a few more layouts here. Just because I do rather like the idea of having her chest kind of coming out of the pedal there. And then maybe just a little bit bigger. Just so we can see a little bit of the top of the skirt here. And I think I mentioned that I think her torso is a little bit too long. I also think her chest is a little bit too long. I kind of expected that, though. I went perhaps a little bit too hard. All right, where are the relevant layers for that? So I'm just gonna move, like, I guess I should get the skirt as well, even though it's off screen at the moment. And I just want to scale it down just a little and raise it up. And that might even be a little bit too much scaling down, but there we go. Where are you, skirt layer? You did not go where I thought you would. Oh, you don't have much drawn. No, I know what happened. Okay, undo that. I need to lock my transparency mask layers again. I'm just gonna keep them locked until I explicitly need to move them. Which, you know, could very well happen here. And the body, where are you? Okay. So this will do it without messing with the transparency of the shape that I got there. But I get the feeling I'm going to be moving it again a little bit, unfortunately. Life is hard. You know what? No, I like it better the other way. Okay. That's good to know. In that case, if this feels too big, what I need to do is increase the size of the head. Which probably means I need to increase the size of this hand as well. But that's kind of how proportions are. Like, there's no particular size that anything has to be. If you are just drawing a head, you can literally make it whatever size you want, and it'll look fine. It's only when you start adding other things that proportions become more relevant, because proportions are just how things relate to other things, typically in regards to size and distance. Actually, no, these are definitely too low. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'll just grab the entire body layer. I think that's fine. Or body group, rather. And I'll just circle around everything here and just push it up a little. Okay, and I think I'm gonna have to do that a couple of times. I just don't really want to overwrite the neck piece. But I'll worry about getting everything smooth and nice looking in a little bit. We're just gonna let things be a little choppy for now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Actually, I do kind of have to fix it up a little bit now, don't I? Well, you know, that's also fine. It is. Okay. I just gotta, you know, check those proportions. Make sure that they're how I want them to be, and I might need to make her a little bigger after this. But right now I still feel like they're a little bit too low, so up they go. Should look pretty good once I get it right, though. Okay, and I do feel like her torso is a little bit low as well. I accidentally clipped the sleeve. I did. Okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to move the sleeve. Makes me think, you know, maybe I shouldn't be using my body group for this since that includes the sleeve, but it's okay. This is a bit easier. Is my transparency mask for the skirt not logged? No, it is. Okay. I don't know why it's being weird then, but it's all good. I probably just don't have that fully masked properly yet. Just doing a little bit of reconstructive surgery here. It's all good. Okay, and this is what we call a mess. But I can kind of see what I'm going for here, so it's fine. I want to make her body a little bigger. It's okay. It always takes me a bit of a second to get proportions correct, and I think in order to do that, I might go ahead and start turning on and off the shadows a bit as well. Okay, I'm gonna move everything up, which means I need to unlock my transparency masks again. Whoop, up it goes. Leave a little bit more space for things. And then I just need to figure out what I want to do with the shape. But before I do that, I kind of want to make sure I have all my various body proportions correct. You know, I really did intend to get into the hands, like, very quickly here. But composition is hard, and also, it's important to have that right before I start rendering anything, because otherwise I'm just going to waste a whole bunch of time, and that's just no fun for anyone. Let's clean up some masking stuff here. Just because it will drive me crazy while I'm trying to get other things done. Okay, that's fine for now. I just didn't like all the broken pieces there. I can deal with the broken pieces here. But there we go. I feel like this has a little bit more of the coming out of the shape energy than what I had before. And I think it's a little more well put together. So let's see. I will go ahead and turn off all of my thick shadows for now. I have one just on the head. Looks like I have a few just kind of hanging out in her hair and stuff, but that's actually fine. I kind of want it there. Okay. We'll go ahead and leave it like that. Okay, and so what I need to do is kind of place her body back together. It got slightly mangled and all that. Perhaps more than slightly. So let's see. The necklace, I think, is actually still mostly okay. So we're good there. And I do not dare hide the top layer here, the one that represents her shirt, in order to hopefully get some other things a little bit more correctly proportioned. So I'm just gonna work from here. I don't want YouTube to decide they don't like me today. So we keep it on, unfortunately. The things I have to think about while drawing, that I really wish I didn't. Okay. So this will be coming out more like this, and she is looking mighty chunky there. So let's give her waistline back. Somewhere around there. His skirt does actually, like, go out almost 90 degrees here. So this isn't that far off. It's not right, but it could be way worse. She is kind of tilted off to the side here, so I will try to respect that a little bit. And let's see, I'm gonna keep the top and the skirt separated for now. I'll get all the little straps and stuff around her belly a bit later, because I am finding them a little bit distracting right now. And then my shape color is currently white. I am going to hide that for now so that this way it is gray. And that should also let me see a little bit better. I still don't know what color I want the shape to be. That's fine, I'll figure it out later. You know, it's practically my motto at this point. It's like, sometimes you don't gotta worry about it. You can just figure it out later. It can be a problem for your future self. Okay. She need her head right now? Not really. Okay, cool. I don't think she needs all her hair either. So I just want to focus in on this right now. I will worry about the rest of her hair later. Okay, so I have some transparency issues. I want to fix all that. Everything within the shape should be fully opaque. No transparency needed in there. Okay. And I can just start gradually putting everything back. Let's see, where do I feel like her body and whatnot should be coming out? So this is where I wish I could hide the top layer so that this way I could get a better feel for the structure of the body here. Okay, since I do plan for this to be a solid color later, I'm gonna give myself a shadow color here. Just to help me picture it in 3 dimensions. And then I will fix the colors later. I could use literally any color, but I have decided to just use a skin tone. Because, well, why not? It makes sense to me. So I'm just gonna plop some things down, help me understand the 3D structure of her body here. Because I need to do that. Do I have a transparency problem there? I sure do. Okay. We do not need any transparency whatsoever up here. Only below the shape needs transparency. And I was hoping that all the masks and stuff would make my life easier, but they're actually kind of complicating things right now. It's deeply, deeply unfortunate. Okay. So let's see. This is like the center of her body here. So that should be a little bit more accurate here. Yeah, this is helping. A lot of the time I can get away with just only doing silhouettes. But you know, if I get a little stuck, just adding a few shadows so this way I can see where the planes change. You know, it can be pretty useful. She's still feeling a little bit on the thick side, so kind of want to get this waist here right. Okay, I need to do something. So let's see, what can I do to kind of stop anything that might be bonkable here? Let's see. We'll give her some hot pink, just running all the way through here. There. Okay, now I should be able to hide it. Perfect. And I can adjust the shape of the body until I get it right. And shave off stuff through here accordingly. Okay, and now I can kind of see. I can connect the body to the neck without having to worry about the placement of her breasts. And that's all I needed. My God. Okay. So this will also help me figure out where her shoulders are and all of that stuff. And that's all I really wanted. Does the neck piece go all the way to her shoulders? I don't actually know. Not quite, but pretty close. So, yes. I do want to extend them out a little bit like I'm doing. This is correct. I'm just gonna leave them pretty straight here. Oh, hello there, Blood Bullet. I'm just gonna leave them pretty straight here. I get the feeling that when I go back and render this proper, I'm gonna be keeping things extremely angular. That's just the kind of style that I picture this being in. So I will prepare for that at, you know, eventually. But first, I just gotta get these proportions down. Okay, I feel like this arm is thick here, so I'm gonna raise the shadow up. We're gonna send it a little higher up here. And this might mean that her torso area is a bit long again. I will think about it when I turn her head back on. Right now I'm just kind of worried about torso proportions relative to themselves. I find it to be a good place to start. But I am going through and just wrangling all the proportions. And I was having enough problems here that I really wanted to make sure that they were right. Okay, I'm gonna shrink my sensor bar again here. I think I can probably get it thinner now. Maybe not that thin, but yeah, I think that should be fine. Make it so I can actually draw this stuff. Alright, let's get this arm cooperating now, and this shoulder. Let's see, I don't actually like the way that neck part is shaped. I actually think most of this is fine in terms of the neck piece here. So I'm actually just going to edit it directly instead of hiding it and fixing it up later. I do think it mostly looks okay. I do think it needs to be a little shorter though. Let's get down there. Just due to the angle that she is sitting at. She has a very slender little neck, so let's shape this all. This arm is coming down, so I want to give it a little bit more of a downward quality to it. Something like that. I do think that it is centered all correctly. And while I will have many a detail to draw later, I do think structurally this is okay. Okay. Alright, I do think that is sitting on her well now, so I can go back down to my body layer and kind of clean up my arm shape here and whatnot. As much as I do like my characters to be strong, that is a real thick arm. And she is very skinny. So I would like to kind of fix that a little. I do think it might also be a little bit long. Let's just go ahead and bring the sleeve down a little. This will affect this hand a little bit, but I can move it around after I'm happy with the way the body is. I'm going to lock my transparency mask just in case, because I'm pretty sure that doing this would move it if I don't. Okay, and then I would also like to shorten it a little, I think. No, I think the sleeve is fine. Is it? Yeah, I think it's fine. I had to think about it for a second, but I think it's fine. Okay. I think that this arm thickness looks pretty alright. Like, her arms are pretty dang skinny. Okay. And then the angle of the chest here is going to be kind of going this way. I'm not worried about her breasts for the moment. They will be drawn later. I will adjust this piece. So this way it's kind of going the same way as the body is, and it won't be a distraction. Okay, and I'm going to bring out my liquefy again and just... I don't know, I'm going to push things around. I was wondering why I wasn't moving there for a second. Hopefully get the thickness of, like, her shoulders and rib cage and waist and hips all good to go. All I'm really trying to do for the moment. Let's see, we probably have some hips coming out here. I do believe that her dress kind of hangs off them a little. Yeah, you can see where the waist is at its thinnest right here, and then it gets wider, and you see a little bit of a fleshy spot right there. So, yes, the dress does hang off of her hips. And what are you? Are you a piece of the dress here? Sure are. You know, maybe I shouldn't have hidden that. I just live in eternal fear of YouTube when I'm drawing stuff like this. Even though it's entirely tame. Okay, let's give her a waist. And let it kind of expand off into hips. Right around there, I think. Should be accurate. I might end up making her a little bit larger. Again. Larger on the screen, that is. Once I feel a little bit more confident with the rest of the proportions here. I want a really, really strong pinch right there. And this not pinching nearly hard enough, so let's really get that in there. Her waist should be probably rounding off a little bit more over here. Oh, I have the... But, you know, doing it like that, that's not gonna work. So let's see, belly button is like... probably like right here. Relative to everything else. Yeah. Seems correct to me. So I'm not quite satisfied. Basically, whenever you're drawing a person, you can even do these poses yourself if you really want to see, but if you bend at a particular point, there's going to be a part that gets pinched, and then a part on the other side that gets stretched. And that makes for a really, really dynamic and interesting poses. So I have to figure out how I want to stretch the outer side of her body here. I think this should actually be a little bit further. Yes. Okay. So I want to figure out how to stretch this part, since I want to pinch this part really hard. And a part of it is that I do not have this pinched nearly hard enough. Let's try to get that in. There's gonna be like a fold in her skin there. I'll pretend like it's clothes and draw it like that. And I'll see where I can get the stretch over on this side. Without things just looking kind of strange. So that means I don't think I can emphasize the hips here quite as much. I don't want her tummy to look big is the main thing. Okay, I can make this smaller again. Huzzah! Okay. Let me see, where does shoulder and stuff come out? It's probably something like that. We'll get the upper torso here, nice and straight. So I can really bring out the stretch in her stomach here. I'm basically gonna have to redraw the entire skirt, that's fine. Getting the proportions and the pose properly dynamic, way more important than whatever I drew you last time. It's all good. It's okay. Whenever I draw a person, I kind of expect to have to do a bunch of reconstructive surgery on their proportions. It's just how it goes. Proportion's not my specialty. Gotta work on that. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna clear the trim entirely here. So I just kind of had the start of the diamond here. I'm just gonna draw where I think the center of this is. And we're gonna pretend like the shapes work like this. I don't think they actually do, but I'm gonna pretend right now. And it'll be okay. Alright, gotta lift this up a little bit. Because the skirt sits a little bit higher on her torso. And then I can start getting some of the shapes right here. I'm not quite sure how to make this turn the way I want right now, so I'm going to worry about it later, especially since I'm not even sure if that will be on screen. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now. And then we have, you know, all the stuff that wraps around her belly button. I'll kind of get that started. I'm not going to be very particular about it right now, but I do think it'll help me picture perspective a little. So I will go ahead and draw it. Okay, and then this part that, I don't know, this here kind of reminds me of wings. So I'm just going to say the wings of the skirt. You know, they go off like that. There we go. So it's something like this, and then it comes down. And then this will, you know, do something similar on this side. However, I decide to handle the perspective there. I don't know yet. Okay, how are we looking? Let's put her head back on and test it out. She looks like a bobblehead. I kind of expected that too. Because I shaved down quite a lot of the body here. Okay. That's why I said I wasn't sure how much of that skirt would even be showing. Okay, I don't actually want to make her arms bigger. So I'm going to lock the sleeve and the hand. Unfortunately, this will make her arms down there bigger, but such is life, it kind of has to be done. Just with my current layer setup. So let's get this sized a little more correctly. This neck is way too thick now, but that's okay. I kind of just want to get the shoulders right. Well, that's not entirely true. It's not just the shoulders. It's, where I want her body to be coming out of the circle or the shape as well. It's not a circle, it's a flower. Important distinction. So I think that's going to be right about here, because I kind of want the very bottom of the dress to be showing. Okay. Which means I need to make her head a little bit smaller again. Proportions. So I'm going to be lining up mostly with the shoulders. That's too small. That's actually way too small. I don't know. Is this actually okay? No, I think it needs to be a little smaller. No, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I'm going to fix the neck. And then I'm going to see, is this head size actually, like, okay? But I cannot work with this neck being this freaking thick. It upsets me. Please be thin again. Okay, that's not working. I just gotta draw it. Okay. I was trying to do it with Liquify because sometimes that's easier. Not so here. So I'm gonna just draw it. Okay, that's a start. It's not properly attached to her head yet. I don't think that's super important for the time being, as bad as that sounds, but I'll kind of get it a little better, but I think it's probably okay. It's all good. I can fix it later. See, it's funny, and the other picture I'm drawing on stream, I'm at the point of where, yes, I have to get everything right. Everything is kind of approaching the final stage. Everything must look perfect. And here I'm just like, nah, it's fine, I'll do it later. The joy of being at different stages of the painting process. Actually, push all of them over just a little. We good? I think it's less her head that's too big and more her hair that's too big. Let's get those on there. I want to make them just a little bit longer, but otherwise, yeah, I think that's a lot better. Oh, they were pretty big. Okay. I'm gonna lift my sensor bar up here a little bit more. There we go. Let's see. I guess I'll go fix the arm just so it's not doing whatever's going on up here anymore. There we go. Just kind of get some low-hanging fruit there. And I'll tame it over here too. Kind of connect it back into the sleeve. I think that might be a little small, but you know, this is fine for now. I still feel like her head is a little bit big. Proportions, man. I'm gonna rotate it. Okay. So I flipped the canvas here. Just to kind of give me a little bit of new perspective. And yeah, I do think the head is a little bit big. Incidentally, this is why I never render until I know that I'm completely happy with how things look. I'll adjust the hand and stuff later. But I have the head drawn sufficiently well that I can read proportions, so this is fine. Okay, and I do feel like the reaching hand is a little bit large. So I'll go shrink that down too. And I am also kind of capturing the shadows that are hidden on a different layer right now, so I'm being more particular with my selection because of that. Oh, it's not going to let me transform it while it's hidden. Fine. The sleeve is a little bit big too, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I do want this hand to look like it's coming towards us, so it's going to be proportionally a bit large. Definitely relative to her face there, but trust me, it'll work. It's a relaxed grab, though, a relaxed reach, so I will not make it too big, but bigger than I would ordinarily make hands. And you know what? I lied. I want to fix the sleeve right now, too. Okay. Yeah, I'm just breaking everything with those poor shadows. I might just end up deleting that layer entirely and redrawing the whole thing. But for now, I'm just gonna hide it. Okay. Looking more proportionate, I think. Before I do any proper sizing of the body or anything, I do want to make sure that her chest is all drawn there, because there's some significant body mass there, so I definitely shouldn't skimp out on those details. So let's see. I feel like the necklace should be lifted up a little. She's kind of leaning back. Okay. I'm not sure if the hips are sufficiently wide here. I think I want to widen them just a little bit more. I just kind of want this part to come out a little. I never knew that transparency masks made Krita lag so hard. I do just kind of want to really push that. I just feel like this particular style really demands some very exaggerated proportions. So I'm kind of trying to find the right place for that, but I guess I shouldn't worry too much, because I do think that a lot of her hip area is going to be outside of the shape, therefore hidden. But yeah, I think I'm ready to put the top back on. I made a point of not really resizing things here until I was ready. So let's get that sized back onto her torso here. Okay. Let's see, I don't need the pattern, so I'll just do this layer. I just want to push this aside in a little bit. Okay, now I do need the pattern, because I am adjusting the center. They're kind of facing this way. I'll go ahead and leave my sensor bar in there for now. Okay, yeah, looking good, I think. Kind of want this part to be coming out a little further. The center, I think, is more over here like this. If I look at this red part, I plopped that down to mark off the center for me. I think I want this one to be a little bit higher, because not only is her body kind of angled this way, you know, the direction of my hot pink, but this arm is also raised, whereas this one isn't, and that can also pull up the breasts there. So I just want it to be a little bit higher up than the other one. Okay. I'll pull this one just a little further down, but I think I want the edge of this to wrap a little bit, you know, more like this. I'm not going to worry about... There's like little straps on the side here. Kind of hard to see while I'm this zoomed out, but that's what this is. And I'm not going to worry about that yet. I want to get the shape of everything else down first. I want to understand the structure of everything here. That's the goal for the moment. And then I promise I will be getting into hands today. I'm not going to let my stream title be a lie. I refuse. Okay. Alright, so I think I got that going into the neck part very well. So now I kind of want to adjust the inner part a little bit better here. Maybe a little on the bottom. I do feel like they're a little bit lopsided. I'm actually going to rotate the canvas again. Or not rotate, flip it. Mirror it. Give myself some idea of what to do here. But I think it is doing much better than before. I just gotta get things properly round, and I think... Let's see. I think I said earlier that I planned on everything here being very angular. I still do. But I think here needs to remain round. So I will be trying to get it very round. Even when you want to do something with a more angular style, I do think that there are times to keep round shapes. Okay, I want to push this down just a little, have it kind of come out, as opposed to lying flat, I guess. But I think that, let's see, a little bit more in the corner here, but I think this is getting pretty close to where I want this to be. And, you know, I am so glad that I had her torso drawn first before I attempted this, because otherwise that would have been pretty hard. That's why I was upset that I felt like I couldn't hide this layer before, and why we did hot pink. Things you have to do to appease the YouTubes. Look, I'm just a little mad about it. But I'll live. Okay, and you know what? This will probably be easier to draw than to liquefy. I think her belly button's gonna be a little higher up now. I wanna know where that is. That's actually kind of important. It's like here. Yeah, I think that makes sense with how I have the pinch. So I'll just move the entire skirt then. Get it within the little diamond there. I kind of have started. Okay. I think I made her hips a little bit too thick. So, because now she's looking a little chonky again. Definitely not what I'm going for. Let's see, how does this wrap around you again? So we got the part from the diamond kind of doing this, and then this wraps... It's hanging off the hip a little more. So it's a little bit more like this. Something like that. And then there will be another strap kind of doing that kind of thing, but I'm not going to draw that yet. Her head feels big again. Well, it's about to feel bigger because I'm about to go messing with her body again. I haven't talked about what I plan to do in the next year yet, but one of the things that I really want to work on in my own art is just being able to get proportions correct faster. So I want to kind of understand how things are put together and constructed a little better, practice actually constructing things, and, you know, make it so I don't have to flail quite as hard like I'm doing right now. Because that seems pretty fantastic. I'd like to be able to draw these things a little bit faster. That'd make me happy. So, that is definitely on my list of things to study for the new year. With everything that I'm doing in November, I'm kind of giving myself December to rest after both Inktober and NaNoWriMo going on here, so that's why I say it's a goal for the new year. But it'll be a-coming. And I'll be sure to share anything that I think of and pick up as I continue to ramble about my art process. Kind of want to give her a little bit more of a waist here. So I want the hips to be sticking out a lot, but I kind of want that thin point. It's like the belly button is here, which I think is correct relative to the rest of her chest there. Then the hip shouldn't actually start until over here. So gotta lower that down a little. This is the part that's pinching, so it should be quite thin. So I really want to make sure that I get that in there. Maybe not that thin, but, you know, pretty close to that. There we go. And then over here is going to be the side that's stretching, so give her a little bit more of a tummy here. Okay. Head still feels big. So I guess I can address that next. Okay, I better fill in over here because otherwise I will probably drive myself slightly crazy. And I'll go ahead and, you know, kind of start getting some of the details in there. With the angle that they're at, I think it'll be shaped a little more like this. They are going to be overlapping a little at this angle. Okay, and I do need to change the shape of the shirt on this side, I think. This needs to kind of push out a little more. It was useful to have it shaped like that while I was figuring out the outer edge here, but now I need to actually understand the shape of the top itself. And that just kind of wraps around the edge. So there is a rather large window here. And I need to be able to capture that. So we'll have shadows, something like this. This one still feels a little bit too big. So if that's the case, then that suggests to me that perhaps I just need to shave off a little bit on the side here. I will just draw it normally at this point. How exactly do those parts work? So this is like all at the bottom. Might be easier to see in the one where her arms are not in the way, but unfortunately it's lower res, so I'm always scared. Okay. So thinking about it structurally, let's get rid of all the little details. I'll keep this one just because it marks the center for me, but I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of every other little detail. I don't need to know where those little pointy parts are yet. This one is sufficient for my purposes right now. I want to align it a little. There we go. Oh yeah, that one is enough for now. Let's get this shaped a little more nicely. Okay. Yeah, I think that's working a little better here. Wrap around. Okay. So I think that looks a little better. And now I'll just get this lower part here. And I think I wanted to do a little dance like that, rather than just be perfectly round all the way through. I think it matches kind of what I got going on over here a little bit better, but I don't know, does that work? Nah, I don't think it does. Okay. No dance, no little dances needed. Just raw circle. I just thought it might work if I made the outer edge here just a little bit wider than where it connects up. Which it might, but... no, I don't think it does. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Okay. They look like they're about the same size now. Mostly, I think I just need to fix where the center line is. I just want it to come up a little bit more like this. Be a little bit rounder through here. This one can do a little dance. Kind of like what I was thinking for the outside there, but I think it'll actually work this time. Yeah. And then a rounder through there. But there we go. I think that is now doing kind of what I want it to be doing. Let's got like one harsh edge right there, but that's fine. Okay. I do believe I have it sized correctly now. Her head still feels big. Okay. Here we go. I want to make sure that I have all my transparency masks hidden. And you know what? I got way too much just junk on the outside here, so I'm going to crop the image. There. Just from resizing things so much, and I don't want to change the size of her shoulders. The shoulders feel perfect. So I'm going to lock the necklace group, and I'm just going to adjust everything from the necklace down here. I don't want to adjust the sleeve. I don't think I want to adjust this arm either, so let's get that out of there. Okay. You know what? I started resizing that, and I was like, oh no. That was not quite what I had in mind. So maybe it's only the waist down that needs to be changed. Okay, I'm just gonna feel out the proportions here until I am happy. And once I am happy, then, you know, maybe I can actually render out a hand. Oh man, wouldn't that be fantastic? But I don't want to do it until I know that all my proportions are correct, because, like, if I do it before then, it's just gonna... I'm just gonna have to, like, fix proportions later and redraw it again and re-render the whole thing, and I'll be very sad. So... I would like to spare my future self from inevitable sadness here. Be kind to your future self. And here I'm just trying to get the pinch in the waist a little bit nicer. I'll probably have to adjust her body just so that the lower part isn't quite so straight. But that's fine, I can do that. Let me just kind of clean up some stuff here. Okay. Her head still feels a little bit big. But I'm certain that if I make it smaller, it's not going to work, so I think there is a shenanigan going on here. Well, it helped a little bit. It is making her shoulders feel a little bit broad, so I'll probably adjust that a little bit. But no, that actually did help. So let's adjust the shoulders a little. Do I still have the necklace locked? I actually did not want to have that locked. Okay, that does mean I will have to adjust the necklace here because I forgot that I locked it. It should not go that far out. Okay. Head still feels big. Is that just because of shading difference? Let's find out. Yes, it could be. No, head still feels big. Okay. I will try again then. I can already tell that I'm gonna have to make her significantly bigger to on the entire picture here, but that's fine. That happens a lot. Okay, how does this feel? Head high. Yeah, at the angle that I'm at, maybe she needs to be sitting a little bit more on top of her body there. Okay, hair feels big again, but I think I'm closing in. Okay, that looks pretty all right. The arm might be a little bit large. The hand is definitely a little bit big. But yeah, that helped. Let's get this placed where I want it on her face, and then I can adjust the arm afterward. Hand being about this big feels right to me. Maybe, no, maybe just a little bigger. Yeah, something like that feels about right to me. Let's see, I want to look at the other hand too. And that is just a mess of shadow at the moment, so let's clear some of this, I guess. Let's see, I think the hand is actually like, everything down there is kind of broken at the moment. But I think it's doing something like that. So yeah, I think it should be... No, I made the other hand way too small. Now that I look at it. Alright, I'm gonna do myself a favor. I did get a reference of the hand here, and I know that the thumb is not gonna be showing. So I'm just gonna erase it now. Just to kind of help me size this right. And now there's a picture of me on my phone doing the, you know, the cringe hand pose. So, always a good time. All right. Okay, now I feel like I can fix her arm and sleeves. That looks pretty okay to me. This hand is maybe a little bit big. I guess I'll fix it now. Just get both hands looking all right. Extend it out just a little bit here. Maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, I'll definitely have to adjust the hand there, or the sleeve and stuff. Let's see, right now things are kind of impossible to read. I'm gonna go adjust... Actually, I'm gonna hide the shadows. Oh no, those are the head shadows. Those ones are fine. This one. I'm gonna hide these for now. Where are my sleeves? Here we are. Actually, the sleeves here don't look too bad. How far down on her arms are they? Okay, so this part... It needs to come a little further up. Okay, which means that this hand needs to come a little further up. But I think the way the sleeve is opening still looks good. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. Clear body, okay. Just had some residue there. Okay, let's go ahead and get the other sleeve. Actually, no, before I do that, I want to erase all that stuff on the arm there. Okay. Now I can do sleeve. I think this part of the arm is okay. I just kind of want to pull this sleeve back. And what I would like to do with it is open it a little bit. Make it... Basically what this arm is doing, if I were to draw her from the front, is, you know, we got her and she's got like, you know, shoulders and stuff. And then this arm is coming up like this and doing a thing like this. So when tilted to this side, that means that this arm goes back, right? So that this part is going further back. And then it comes back forward again. Because it's, if we think about it from the side, we have the head and then, you know, the shoulder underneath here. This arm will be going out this way. And then coming back towards her head when the time comes. So what I want to do is open up the sleeve a little bit, and that should look pretty okay. And then the arm mostly goes up there, overlap here. I just want to make sure that this arm doesn't look too short, and it will connect to her wrist right there. So I can just draw the rest of the arm in here. Shave off the rest. There. So something like that. And I do feel like it's starting to come together, so I'm pleased. I wish I didn't have to play with proportions so hard. I need to get the skills. Okay, I'm not quite happy with the perspective on her face. So let's get that. I think this needs to come up a little higher. And I think I'm showing a little bit too much of, like, the back of her head and stuff. So I would like to fix that, too. That's you, right? Yeah, I have all of this together. So what I need to do in order to fix that, if I go to the shadow layer here, all I really need to do is adjust where these little bits of side hair are coming up. So I need to put them a little further back. It's actually quite straightforward for once. And then I want this braid to kind of come up a little bit more. Doesn't look like a braid yet, but it's okay. It will soon. Sooner or later. Hair is one of the things I do early, so... Get all that in there, and I think I'll put the eyes just a little bit higher too. Which also means I need to put the face just a little bit higher. And then I want to adjust the chin just a little bit. I gotta be careful with that though, because otherwise I'll just be moving the whole thing up and I will accomplish nothing. If I move them all up the same amount, it's like, yeah, I might as well have just moved the whole head up, and that won't accomplish anything for me, so... I gotta be careful. We'll just ignore the derpy expression for now, don't worry, that will be fixed. In fact, I think I'll probably do it right now before I really render anything, just because... the expression is actually quite important. So, what does it actually look like in my face? Or, not in my face, in my head. I mean... no, it's not in my face, it's in my brain. That's a question, isn't it? I am going to take a moment and really picture it. Because right now I think it's just a little bit too maniacal, but I don't really want to close her mouth all the way. I do think it needs to be smaller though. A little bit more closed. So I'll start there. More smug. I think it's probably a good way to put it. More elegant. The teeth were placeholder, so I'm gonna get rid of them for now. I don't want her mouth to be closed. The fangs must show. Very important. That's why I had the placeholders in there. But right now they look a little bit too silly, so it's gonna make it hard for me to find the correct expression like that. So I must think. Okay. So the big thing that I find with these kinds of maniacal smiles is that if you really emphasize the Cupid's bow in the lip, it actually helps a lot. So let's get that shape in there. I think that's what it's called. That part that makes the mouth look a little more heart-shaped. So I'll emphasize that a little bit more. Okay, that's a bit better. We'll get the corner of the mouth a little bit more defined. Her chin looks massive now, holy cow. But it's okay. It's okay. One thing at a time here. Can't let myself get distracted. It's so easy to get distracted. Okay. I don't really want to hide the hand. I feel like the hand is actually an important piece of the expression, but I feel like the hair is slightly in the way, so I will get rid of that, and... Let's see, I drew directly on the head here, so I will just, not for now. I want to get the other side, because I just... I don't know. I think it'll help me figure it out. As always, I'm just doing whatever is necessary to let me figure out how all this actually works. Whatever is necessary. And right now, I just want to worry about expression. And that's about it. That is the singular goal I've got here. Let's give her some eyebrows, too. I think only one of the eyebrows will be showing, but that's okay. They're gonna go something like this. So high and arched downward. It should look very malicious. It's perfect. Okay. Okay, then I want to get the center of her mouth in a good spot. I don't know, I still feel like it's hanging open a little bit more than I would like, but will it be better if I gave her teeth instead? Let's find out. If I gave her just a closed teeth. So let's get the nice thick lines in there to act as shadows. Oh yeah, that is so much better. And then I just put in the gap between the teeth here, and we can put in the nice little fangs. I told you that they had to be there. That it was important. So I will get those in. kind of emphasize them a little bit more here. Okay, yeah, that doesn't look bad. I mean, it's unrefined, but I think it kind of it gets the point across. I think I can even make it a little bit bigger now. Just exaggerate that hard. Like I said, I think this particular style just demands exaggeration everywhere. Yeah, I think that kind of has the somewhat crazed feeling I'm going for, but, you know, a controlled crazed. Which I think is perfect. So let's go ahead and kind of smooth out the rest. And I think when I add, like, when I blush her cheeks and stuff, I'll probably add a lower lip. I don't think she has one in her model, but I think it'll look good here, and I think it suits her, so she might get some lips. But there we go. I think this looks pretty okay. I think I need to adjust the chin a little bit now. But chin actually doesn't look that bad anymore since I made the mouth a little bit bigger. So all I needed to do was close her mouth, huh? You know, I'm actually a little surprised. Okay, cool. Okay, how do I feel about her eyes here? Do I want them to be that small? Do I want them to be wide? Basically, there's a couple of patterns that I'm seeing in my head. I'm gonna duplicate my eyelash layer. And I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna make them more angled like this. So do I want them to be wide, or do I want them to be narrowed? A little bit more of a glare to it. Here, I need to be able to see, so we're breaking out the cyan. I'm already using hot pink for something in the eyelashes, so here we go. I need to be able to see a little better. So I just had them a little bit more angled like this. Doing it like this would mean that I adjust some other stuff in the face. It's fine. But it's important to get the expression, like, just right. Everything about it's gotta be good. Okay, then that's pretty good. I don't know, which do I like better? I'll run some comparisons. This one's mostly covered up, so I'm a little bit less worried. Okay, you need to be cyan too, okay? Thanks. Yeah, it's gotta be this one, right? I don't think this is exactly the right shape, but no, that is a bit more correct. And you know what? If we're going hard, let's go real hard. Let's get those eyebrows going down. I want them to be high though. She's raising the eyebrows. Although I don't know, this might be a little bit too much. That's the thing. Malice is kind of quiet and elegant. Not prone to just eating people. So it might be a little bit too hard. Let's find out. Let's see. Do I want to... Yeah, let's raise it just a little here. This eye I think is pretty good. Okay. So I think I like these eyelashes better than those ones. Yeah, I think so. So you are going to be the eyelashes. And I'm going to call you backup. I don't want to delete it yet. I want to be able to switch between them. I'll probably double check it again next time. Okay, and then from there, I want to check the eyes themselves. So, we have small, or we have large. Come on, look at us, girl. And you just won't. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So this is definitely less hard on the crazy part of the expression. But again, I'm just determining whether or not I think it suits her better. Oh no, it's gotta be the small one. Okay, cool. It's okay. That's the importance of science. I just wanted to see it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and turn her eyelashes black again. And I'm gonna turn her hair back on. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I think I can work with that. I mean, don't mind that her eye white is currently outside of her eye. Don't worry about it. I'll fix it later. I don't really see the point in fixing such things at the moment when I'm still making a bunch of adjustments. So, here we go. Let's go ahead and get this chin shaped a little better. I think it's actually pretty dang close to correct here. But there we go. And I would also like to kind of get her ears looking okay here. So that's going to take two things. That's going to be one part fixing the outline. Oh, are you not on that? You are. Why could I not erase you? Oh, I have 2 layers selected. Fine. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, if you look at the proportions on her ears there, it's not quite as wide as her hair, and I had the ears hanging off there. So, first step, draw the new line. And then second step, I want to add the skin tone down there. Okay. The second one is hidden, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I will go add the skin tone now. Once I find my head layer, there you are. I didn't really want to worry about it later or earlier because I had stuff. But now I think is a good time when I'm trying to get everything right. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like the glare is a little bit too strong now. Like, I know her name is Malice, but I don't actually want her to look overly malicious. Ooh, that's a tough choice. I go too hard. I don't feel like these ones are going hard enough, though. Okay, so in that case, I'm gonna try a slightly different expression with these ones. I'm going to let these ones kind of be a little bit wider, like this. I don't know, I don't really like that either. It needs more smug. That's what it comes down to. It needs more smug. So maybe in that case, instead of the eyes going down like that, I send them upward. I had the wrong layer. Oh, I had both eyelash layers on at once. Whoops. Okay. Do they go up instead? Oh, that's even worse, isn't it? Okay. Let's try the other one where they're a little more basic. And I just send them up instead. Just really emphasize that big old smile there. No, that's not quite it either. Maybe slightly more narrowed eyes then. Like, instead of the straight-up angry eyes that I have in the other variation. Just a little more narrowed. Actually, that's not bad. Like right now, she looks maybe a little drunk. I'd have to move the eyes around a little bit, but that's fine. Bring down the star here. There we go. Yeah, look, it looks a little more controlled. Let's see. Maybe not like super exaggeratedly high up like I had before, but just a little. She looks like she's having a good time. Okay, that's... if I was going to do it, I'd definitely have to do it a little bit more than that. So let's just try it. No, I don't think so, actually. Let's back it up. What do her eyes look like again? Pretty round at the bottom. As always, it's like, it can be really, really fun to do, like, over-the-top expressions, and I guarantee that I will do them on some of these, since I do intend to draw a lot of the new debutees in this style right now. But, it still has to suit the character that I'm trying to draw. And the super extreme ones are a little bit too much, I think. The mouth is perfect, though. I think this is great. So I'm just trying to find the right balance for the eyes themselves here. And then maybe what I do is I just draw the eyelashes downward like this. Just, you know, for science here. And that's eventually how it'll go. I think that works. Another case of I will probably sit on it a little and make sure that I like it. Hand still feels appropriately sized to me. Okay, I think everything's feeling mostly proportionate here. So just so I don't make a liar of myself, I'm gonna go ahead and refine the hands a little bit. And, yeah, just kind of get those started. I will not fully render them. I do not like to do any rendering the same day that I do proportion work, because I like to sit on them for a day, or at least not look at them for a while. But I will go ahead and start getting this hand angled correctly. Okay. So I have a reference on my phone here, and I'm just going to be looking at that. Unfortunately, it's not the kind of thing that I want to bring up on stream, because it does, in fact, use my actual face. Those are secret. That's a secret. Trade secret here. But the first thing I noticed is that at this angle, my index finger disappears behind my middle finger almost entirely. So that's the first thing I'm getting here. So it does something like this, and it kind of disappears behind the knuckle of the middle finger here. So that'll be like right about there. It's a little exaggerated. I will, lessen that exaggeration a bit as I start refining it a little bit more. But I do like kind of starting with that. I find it easier to read. Okay. Strictly speaking, in my reference, my fingers are actually quite straight. But I think it looks better with a little bit of a curve there, so I'm gonna do that. I don't have to be completely accurate when drawing the anime. I can have a little bit of artistic license here, so it's fine. I like it with that little bit of a curve here. I just think it makes it a little bit more dramatic. And I mean, if you're doing this kind of pose, it's all about the drama. It's all about the drama. And I do want the fingers to kind of go together. So I'll be dropping the index finger down like this as well. They will bend together. Okay, so yeah, just about like that. I think this looks fine. I'm gonna make this part just a little bit thinner. But otherwise, yeah, something like that. Alright, so what is the ring finger doing? I actually had it pretty dang close. So I think that this looks okay. And... well, glad to hear that you're taking care of your future self today. It's okay. Future self deserves some attention sometimes. Okay, so yeah, I think the ring finger is doing what I want it to do. I will shape the bottom of it to be a little bit nicer when the time comes. Make it a little bit more like this. But I'm still not gonna fully render all this out yet. And then the pinky, when I do it, is actually quite straight. I mean, most of the fingers are. But I'll go ahead and just do it like that. It's okay. It's progress. It's always worth taking care of your future self. I actually didn't have it too far off. The main thing was that I didn't really know what to do with the thumb. And, you know, once I had that, the rest became pretty easy. And it turns out the thumb doesn't show at all. Ah, hello there, feline. Welcome back. But yeah, once I knew what to do with this thumb, the rest became, honestly, pretty straightforward. Put a little bend in the wrist here. Okay. And now to figure out the meaty part of the hand here. Okay, so it's kind of like that, and I'll probably get the shape of the glove and stuff a little bit later. It doesn't completely cover her hand, but I don't really feel like figuring out where which parts are skin and which parts are not right now. I kind of want to make sure that I'm actually happy with how everything looks before I get into such adventures. So I guess today ended up being a proportionate adventure, and I'm not sure why I'm surprised. It is me drawing, after all. It's like, I just remember when I looked at it, I didn't actually have too many proportional complaints. But then I looked at it harder, and I'm just like, oh. Oh. But there we go. We have a hand started. My stream title is no longer lying, so I'm happy. Let's go ahead and get the other one started too. So when you kind of have this kind of thing. Oh wait, I can't draw here. What am I talking about? I don't have anything over there, do I? It's all up here. Okay, good. Yes, I should go to the layer for the other hand before I start drawing. That seems like a good idea. Here we are. Gonna hide her sleeve. Fortunately, I don't think YouTube has anything against arms, so I can safely do that. Like when I was trying to figure out her torso. But yeah, when you have this kind of holding out your hand, not like trying to grab the guy, but just leaving it out there, and whoever's looking has the opportunity to take her hand if they so desire. It kind of leaves a dark pit in the middle, and then you have part of the palm, the meaty part, kind of sticking out here, sitting on top. And then there's like a dent, and then the fingers come out. So that's kind of what I'm going for here, so let's see if I can kind of get that going. Let's see, and when I do it, my thumb kind of curves a bit, so let's do that too. Just the little joint there, I'll send it over kind of like this. Just, you know, very relaxed. She's not trying too hard. She doesn't have to try too hard. I feel like I have the hand a little thick, so let's see, I'm gonna make it thinner around the pinky here. This is one where, you know, maybe I should have taken another picture. I guess it's not too late to do so. I probably could. This might take me a second to get the right angle and whatnot. Yeah, sure, hands are hard, and I don't want to do a bunch of brain bending today, so I'm just gonna take a quick picture of my hand here. Give me just a moment. So let's see, where it's just kind of a relaxed reach. Oh god. Gotta do arm gymnastics here. Sorry if I bump the microphone. Let's see, we're seeing it a little bit more from that angle. Okay. Look, taking reference pictures of yourself is harder than it looks. I'm trying to find the right angle here. We're kind of above, and this way, and I can only see like half the phone here. Okay, I guess I can draw it more like a straight up palm then. Let's see, I want to get the foreshortening in there too. Okay. So it looks like the big thing, and she's wearing gloves, so the real thing will not have nails, but I think drawing the nails will help me see, so I'm gonna do that, and we actually do see fingernails up on the outside here, so it's turned kind of like this. And like the pinky's in totally the wrong place, but yeah, it'll be kind of like that. Anywho, let's see. Not bent that hard. Just a little. Okay, and it's kind of straight going into this. Going into the wrist. And I do not actually see the thumbnail, so this is not the side of the thumb, this is the top of the thumb, so it should be shaped a little bit more like that, with, you know, a little shadow right there. I'll just draw that there for now. It may or may not make it into the final version. Index finger curves a little bit toward the thumb. And the middle finger actually kind of overlaps the index finger a little bit. These are the kind of things I look for. I just see what's overlapping, what is not, what are the angles that I see, and that kind of thing. So what I'm seeing is something a little more like this. And don't worry about the fingers looking like sausages right now. I'm pretty sure I'll make it make sense a little bit later. You know, in theory. And then the pinky just sticks way out, so I think its location is correct. The rest just kind of go over here. But yeah, pinky is sticking way out there. And we see like almost the top of it. So it's kind of like this. With the nail like that. Okay. So how does the wrist look? This is a little bit more meaty. Like it is almost a straight shot, but that is just more meaty. And a bump there. Hand goes in a little bit more like that, so this way the pinky can stick out. I'm not worried about detaching it from the arm. I can fix that later. It's fine. All is well. The pinky should probably be smaller, but you know what? It's fine. Yeah, let me actually get that. There we go. So once again, I'm just trying to get the fingers and palm and all the other hand stuff proportionate and shaped right relative to itself. And then I'll worry about sizing it relative to the arm. I like to do these things separately. I find it a little bit easier to manage. And then this finger actually is very vertical. So I will turn it a little bit more vertically. I can't do it like that, can I? No, I can't. Okay. Oh. I hit a button. And now my computer's confused. Hold on. There we go. This is Malice Evermore. She's a VTuber from the company Phase Connect. So, as usual, I am just drawing more VTubers because I like doing so. There we go. That's about what I want there. Got that finger turning the way that I think it should. Do I want it to be turning a little further down? Maybe. Instead of there, like here. I like her design quite a lot. Her hair is very fun. Look at those giant buns. They're incredible. One of the reasons I draw many a VTuber, I just... They always tend to have very fun designs to draw. So... Okay. So now we can make this one look a little bit less like a flimsy sausage. Oh yeah, I guess I should draw the nail for my own reference here. It's doing something like this. Angle not quite correct, but I mean, I don't have to get it perfect. This is just for my own reference. And a little more of the side of that, I think. Yeah. There we go. And that should give me some idea of how this hand is tilted. I always find drawing the fingernails really, really useful for this. And actually, you should be more like that. To tell me how the hand is turning. So I tend to do it a lot. Even if the character is wearing gloves, then I will erase it at the end. They just give so much information on the direction the hand is going. So I like it a lot. And I'll go ahead and make them flat just because then I can do stuff like this and show that, you know, we're seeing the side. And that the other end is going to be over there. Okay. I'm satisfied. So let's get the next finger. I do think that my fingers might be a little small, but I can change the size of the palm pretty easily, so it doesn't matter. Let's see, am I satisfied with how this is tilted? I am not, actually. I think you're a little broken, buddy. Let's fix that. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm drawing on the wrong layer again. Whoops. Am I? Okay, yeah, I have no residue there now, so we're good. I just had both layers selected, and it seemed unhappy with me. Okay. I want this to be going a little bit more vertically, and pointed a little bit more toward the viewer. A good old foreshortening, I just can't stop doing it. It's probably not even necessary for what I'm trying to do here, but man, Everything is better with a little bit more foreshortening, right? There we go. That looks a little bit better, and then straighten out the finger here a little bit. Make it a little thicker on that side, separate the parts, connect the parts there where they should be, and there we have fingers. I think I want it to be a little more relaxed, though. So I'm going to send it a little further back, and yeah. I can do that. Okay. Boop. 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 Okay. There we go. That's good enough, I think. Let's do the next one. Okay, time to get you looking less like a sausage. Here we go. This one, we see, like, most of the side of it. And actually, if I were to put shadows on this to help me see some planar stuff, there'd be a thin one over here, but it's very thin. We do not see very much of the side of the pinky at all. Okay, and, you know, similarly, not very much of the side of the hand. And then on this ring finger, we actually see quite a bit of the side of it. It's like this. Yeah, okay. Next one. So it comes out. I think this angle is fine. Draw a little dark spot here, just so I know where that finger ends. And then once again, we foreshorten the finger, because I can't stop myself. Because I can't stop drawing tricky hand poses and foreshortening and all these other things that I think look really cool but are hard. Alright, let's go to nail. Yeah, we say pretty much entirely the side here. So the nail is actually a little bit more like that, with, I was saying mostly the top, so I will adjust that accordingly. And then from there, I will draw where the top of this finger is. It's like this. Separate it from the rest, and one more. One more. Okay, so far I feel like I have everything connected to the hand pretty well. So where do you bend? A little bit more out here. And then I can just draw the rest of the finger over here. And there we go. I think we have a pretty relaxed little hand pose there. I'm not even going to bother drawing the nail on this one. I don't think I need it. Okay, and I want to take another look at the thumb. I still feel like we're seeing a little bit too much of the side, so I'm going to kind of bulk out the certain parts there and thin out other parts to make it look like we're seeing it a little bit more from the front. Okay. So I think I like the pose. The palm is definitely too big. So I'm going to move all this up. And then I'm just going to liquefy the parts that I think are too fat. Push things in where I think they should and all that good stuff. The pinky can afford to stick out a little bit more. get this on in there. Okay, so, you know, something like that. I'll go ahead and keep the nails for now. I think I'm still gonna make it a little thinner. I'll keep the nails for now, just to help me see it, and we'll see how I feel about this hand pose next time. I don't think it looks too bad. The thumb looks maybe not great, but... Alright. Let's get this hand where it belongs. I think it needs to be a little further this way. That's fine, they had it coming. Okay. Get the sleeve? I do want the sleeve to be kind of underneath here. That's a really solid way just to show that we're seeing this, you know, like from the top. Okay, so something like that. And there we go. Hands are started. I will probably finish them next time. So, okay. Maybe it's not exactly what I expected to be doing today, but it's okay. I think things are looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and get the shadows here looking a little better now. Once again, I do think I will just clear it and start over. I already have a pretty good idea of how I want most of this to look. And there will be some shadows here. Through here, I think most of this is probably going to be dark. I want to keep some of the red, but I'll leave most of it dark. Kind of the same here. So this is all just a layer that I'm putting on top, so it's a little bit imprecise. But I think it's easier than just trying to manage a separate shadow layer for, like, everything. That sounds annoying, so I'm not going to do it. Definitely a big shadow underneath here. Absolutely required. Probably just do the belly button in dark. And I think I want the bottom of the chest somewhat dark like this. And for this side, I did the same thing just by putting dark underneath, so I will not do that on that side. Okay. A little bit of dark around the hair here. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the shadows that I used to help me... No. I was gonna say, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the shadows that I used to help me figure out the 3D effect of the body, but until I'm ready to render it, I don't actually think I should do that. I think I should leave them there until the end. So I changed my mind. Okay. So then I kind of want some clothing shadows to do something similar here. Oh no. Well, that's deeply unfortunate. Get the shadows underneath the hair. Around the dress here. I mean, I haven't drawn it yet, but that's how that will work then. Okay. Let's turn on the back hair. I've been just neglecting it the whole time. For good reason. It does no longer make sense. It is what it is. Come on, I just unlocked the layer. There you go. Good job. So something like this. Okay, and now I can finally figure out how I want her to sit in the circle. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up things compositionally. I think I will rotate the shape a little. I have a vision. Oh, I didn't... Okay, hold on. It did not select my mask layers like I thought it was. Let's try that again. Okay, I think I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Rotate it a little more. Let's see, what is the best way to get this vision in place? That's my question for myself. I think something like that will work. And now this time I want to do the opposite. I want all of the transparency masks locked. Because I want to move Malice, but not anything else. Congrats! I hope you're able to rest well. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Are you not masked properly? No, you are. Okay. Let's see, in terms of angle, I definitely prefer her, like, right about here. I think the sizing is good, so I'll just revisit the shape and see if I can get that into a slightly better spot. I'll just keep going back and forth there until I'm happy. Well, I mean, Saturday being almost done hasn't, well, Saturday being done doesn't change the length of the weekend, it just changes how many days you have left. So it's still a 4-day weekend. You just only have, 3 days left. Let's see, I want to make it a little bit more clear what the shape is. So maybe something like that. This is tricky. Like I said, I have a vision. I do. I have a vision. I just need to find the right way to make it work. And it's oddly tricky. The shape does not want to cooperate with me. Rude little shape. A very rude shape indeed. But it's okay. I am the artist. I always win in the end. So I will find the perfect position. I believe in myself. I think right about there. I think there will be good. So there we go. It looks like she's coming out of the shape nicely. Maybe I can make it a little bit lower. But there we go. She's coming out of the shape nicely, and got all the expression on there. I think I got all that good. So next time, if I don't hit my proportions, I can actually start rendering this. Let's see, is there anything else that I can really work on for the moment, though? Because I do kind of want to set on my proportions a little bit longer. I guess I can... I don't know, can I start rendering the hair a little bit? No, I can't, but that's just because I don't think I like the shapes. Certain shapes that I have going there very much. So I guess I should fix those. Yeah, that seems like a great idea. The big one is this. I would just like to move it a little. I think I have it a little bit overly affected by gravity. So I'll go ahead and make that look a little nicer. Just finish all the compositional things today. And then next time, I can actually just render all this. I'm hoping that the rendering phase will go fairly quickly and smoothly for this one. We'll see how it goes. And then the drill, I think I still want that a little further over. I think it's also a little bit long. So I'll fix that as well. Actually, if I'm gonna do that, I should do it on the entire, on the right part of the layer there. I want the entire group here, because that also includes the shadows. Bring this over here real quick, just so I can kind of get this sized well. Okay, there we go. I think that's a good spot for it. All right. And this is drawn totally wrong. I guess it's fine. You know, I can probably actually spend some time getting that right. Because I have to set on proportions and whatnot anyway. So, you know, if I have a second, that's probably what I'll do. Let me get some black stuff in here just so I can have the hair separated nicely. Okay. And then the hair on the other side. So over here, I think that this is sticking out a little bit too far. And then there will be like another hair drill doing a thing over onto this shoulder. I don't think it goes on top of the chin, so I'm not going to do that. And I think I would also like to get the shadows on the face looking good. So that'll go like down the middle here, over her nose, into the mouth, and around the chin. There we go. Isn't that lovely? Okay. And I think I would like just a little bit more around the eyes here. And around the hair. Okay, so something like that. Let's see from here. Man, with her chest sticking out like that, I think that might be a little bit much. So I'm gonna take it back just a little bit. Only a little. There we go. Okay. I just felt like it might have been a little bit much. I mean, I guess restraint is not part of the design here, but it's fine. I don't know. This is why I like to set up my proportions for a day. I'm actually going to move her head a little bit further forward. So I guess suddenly we have a little bit more of a bird's eye view here. But you know, that's fine. I think it looks okay. And I'll worry about connecting the arm again. Now? Okay. Yep, now sounds good. Let's do it. I was gonna say later, but I'm like, what else am I gonna do? Let's do it. Where's my sleeve? There you are. And body and liquefy. Okay, and I'd actually like to adjust the sleeve a little bit more. Kind of want a little bit more of it covering the arm there. Although actually that's more of a thing where I take back the shadows a little bit and draw a little bit more sleeve. So let's do that. Shadows are going to be out here now. And then the rest will be sleeve. There we go. I'm still not quite sure I'm going to handle the shadows in the sleeve. I guess it'll be something like that, but there we go. Alright, let's tame the back hair a little bit. Yeah, so let's just start taming the hair a bit. Just in general. So I do want some coming out the side here. But not a lot. And I kind of want it to be rolling back in on itself like that. I don't like anything over here, so I'm just gonna, like, redo all of this. And so she's got, like, a lot of nice little curls here. So I'm gonna kind of draw those. It's all gonna kind of roll together into a big blob down there, but that's fine. I'll separate it with black and shadows. Let's go ahead and just get some of this going. There we go. That looks much better. Let's get some of the black in there now. Just kind of separate out some of the strands I see. And of course, all the hair that goes on is on top and all that stuff. Okay. So I think it's separated well. I might end up making it a darker color. I haven't decided yet. I feel like a lot of the hair is just kind of melding into each other. And I'm not quite sure how to fix it yet. But it's definitely on my radar, so there we go. I'm just not quite sure what I want to do about it. Like, I guess here they just made it a little bit more, like, gray. But I don't think that works for mine, so I'll have to think about it. I guess now's a reasonable time to think about it. I don't know, do I want you to be a little darker? I don't think I like it. What about the opposite? Do I make you a little lighter? No, I don't like it there either. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I think that's just one where I'm probably gonna have to try some things, and I'd like some time to think about that. So, in the meantime, let's go ahead and kind of start taming the drills here. I don't intend to, like, render them or anything. I just kind of want to understand how they work. Okay. So... let's see. It comes down. Roll around. And I don't think there has to be a hole. In fact, I don't think it makes sense for there to be a hole. So... so maybe something a little bit more like this, and then I let it kinda roll back through here. We just draw a circle with a little tail like that. And then when I go back to the shadow layer, I draw a line here. And I don't know, what do they look like? There's gonna be like another line doing something like this, and there will be some kind of hole here. No. I just need to define front and back. This should not be that hard. Let's see. I'm just gonna stare at it again. Okay. So, this comes down, part of it comes out and loops around. So I can draw that too. Just gotta define front and back. You don't need to make it complicated, okay, self? It's okay. You got this. So connects here. This will be back. I don't know yet. He might get to come in, he might not. It's like if he gets to come in, he's probably just gonna be floating somewhere, but I may or may not draw him. Sometimes I draw the pets, sometimes I don't. Let's see. Okay, and then this rolls like this. Sure. Yeah, sure, let's hear it. Floating out of her. I'm not sure what you mean. Okay. Then we get a straight here. I actually think this should be a little bit straighter too, so I will do that. Something like this. Back to the shadow layer. Okay, and then we get the back part, so it'll kind of... Let me actually figure out where this little loop tail comes out. Yeah, that's why I said if I was going to draw him, I probably would just have him be floating near her. But I don't know if I'm going to draw him or not. I haven't decided. I have not decided. If I do, it'll be like at the end. I really do not feel like I should be finding this as difficult as I am. Hard is hard. So it kind of comes out and around. Then down here, and this loops like that. I don't know, do I like that shape? Or do I want it to be a little bit rounder? Yeah. I think that's good. I drew it in the wrong color, but it's fine. I do want to draw that in pink, not black, just to make it easier to change as I want to. Okay. And then this little loopy guy, I think it should be a little slimmer. There we go. Okay. And roll this way, please. Yes. There we go. That looks pretty nice. Okay, so that looks sufficiently drill-like to me. I think I want to pull the drill out a little bit more this way. So I will do that. And I'll just give it a little shadow right here where it's overlapping other hair, I feel like. There. And I think that's a pretty cute little drill. I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just not sure if there's a spot in the composition for this guy. I think sometimes it's easy to acknowledge pets, but other times, I don't know, there's just no good spot for them. So I'll probably just leave it like this. I don't really... I don't really see a place where I'd want to add him. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and do the drill on this side too, and I think I have a better idea of how it actually works, so that's nice. Let's see if I can do it again. Okay. So here, we got this little drill. What are you gonna do? Just like roll like this. And then have your little bit of hair coming out over here. Yeah, I think that works. Let me actually fill in the middle of this. I think I can see the perspective well enough that I don't need to leave it like that. Okay, and get the shadowy part there, let it roll around, and I don't know. Draw that there. Draw that there. And I think that is a little drill. That's why I said I don't feel like it should have been as hard as I was making it out to be. It's not that complicated of a shape. My brain just had a little bit of a brain fart. It was like, These things happen. But it's okay, I got it. That's what matters. Okay. So there we go. I feel like I have the basics of about everything down now. I just have to render it all out. And I mean, I guess I don't really have the crown in yet, but the crown is going to be like one of the last things I draw on the head, so I'm not real worried about it yet, but yeah, it looks the way I want it, like I want it. I guess I can also decide on a background color here, because I don't know if I want the shape to be white. I don't know, maybe I'll make it Malice pink or something. It does really de-emphasize this though, and that's a little bit sad. I don't know, what about the purple in her eyes? Gross. I hate it. How about yellow with the crown? I'll make it darker. Can I get away with making the crown itself this color? Let's find out. Sure can. Okay, cool. So this way I don't have to have an extra color. Let me see, where's the necklace bit? That should also be this color. Honestly, I think it even looks a little bit better darker. So, there we go. Oh, I haven't drawn her hairpin. I should do that. I'll just do it on the crown layer, I guess. So I don't really want to add another color, so I'm just going to use this one. I always take a little bit of a creative liberty when I am doing minimalism, so this is fine. Wow, it goes all the way up to the tip of her crown, huh? That's a really big hairpin. There we go. And then it looks like there's like some flowers or something here and there. But I want to draw all that later, much like I haven't like drawn her earrings, for example. Some of these things are smaller, but that's a pretty big hairpin. I want to get it in now. Okay. So I think things are looking good. And I think that this might be about ready for rendering next time. We'll see how I feel about the proportions after sleeping on them. But I think I'm pretty happy with how everything's shaped. I like the pose. I like how she's coming out of the shape. I like all these things. And I think I'm happy with the color scheme. And I just think everything is working. I want to check one thing with the body here. And that's, what I think I might do is just make a new layer and paint everything with just the normal color and get rid of all of my proportion helpers and stuff. Just because I know I'm gonna get rid of them, but this way, if I want them back, I can just look and it'll be fine. But there we go. That's without all that stuff. And I guess I should figure out what color I want this to be. It needs to be like a bright pink, and I don't mind it being its own color. Let me see, do I have a good reference for you? Unironically, I think it being white with a hot pink outline is actually going to be perfect. So I think I'm going to do that. So it'll be like this, and then I'm going to put an outer glow on it over in the layer styles. And it's just going to be like the hottest pink in the world. And fortunately with this, I can just grab the white and then, with that, paint it properly, and then it'll keep the effect here. So I'm just kind of feeling it out there, and maybe a little darker. I still want it to be real hot, though. Oh, yeah. Very bright pink. But there we go. That's the kind of thing that I want there. Okay, yeah, let's see how I feel about it on, what, Wednesday is when I'm going to be working on this one again. And You know, if things still look good, I'll start rendering it there. Unfortunately, I just had a lot of trouble wrangling the body today. And actually, I think I want to do one more thing with it. I want to bring the hip out a little bit again. And thus the skirt as well. But yeah, if this is supposed to be a little bit more under her, since I'm going for a little bit of a bird's eye view now, then yeah, I think something like this is actually appropriate. So let's get this a little bit underneath her again, but yeah, that's pretty minor. I'm not changing too much there. But as always, I just kind of want to work out the problems that I see right now while I'm thinking about them. But yeah, I think this is about ready for rendering and smoothing and making everything look nice. And we'll just leave it like that. And okay, there is one thing. Look, I think about it and then I look at it and then there's like always just one last thing that I want to take a look at. Just how it goes. I don't know. I just want to adjust a couple of angles here. I kind of wanted this corner to go a little bit more toward the other corner, and then because I'm doing that, I need to move the hand coming out. Just trust me, it'll look better once I fix it. Okay. So I'm just gonna grab, like, all of this. And we're gonna bring it back toward the corner. Oh, I didn't get the nails. Oh well, it's fine. They are extraneous anyway. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Nah. She's wearing gloves. Like, the nails were there for my own reference, and I don't think I need them. And if I do, I'll draw them next time. Like, it's not a big deal. Okay. And yeah, I just want to make the minor sleeve adjustments with that. Let her arm kind of come out of a slightly better spot here. But there we go. You know, I just kind of want to perfect the pose and all that good stuff. Make sure everything is ready to be rendered. There we go. We'll make her arm a little bit more dramatic here. That's some drama right there. Okay. Just for comparison, because I'm curious. Before and after, before I did anything there. So that's what it was like before. And after. It takes a hot second for it to go through it all, but yeah, I do like the after a little bit better. Oh no. Destroy all spider adjacent things. Yes, I am about ready to stop for today. I do stream at the same time every day, so anytime you want to stop by, just, I start about 3 hours earlier from now, and then I stream for about 3 hours. So I'm just kind of finishing up the last bits of the pose that I want to fix up, and then I'm gonna have to head out, unfortunately. But thanks for stopping by nonetheless. I'm glad you could at least show up for part of it. Okay, so there we go. Kind of fixing the hand a little. And I guess I'll fix the back of the hair here just a little. Oh, you have a rogue transparency, huh? Let's fix that. There we go. And then maybe just a little bit more rotation on everything. I just want to get everything in the corners nice. Like, it's hard to explain, but let me see if I can. Of just... So, the big thing is that I don't want anything to be parallel to the sides here. Nothing straight up and down. So I'm kind of trying to go the diagonal on with the arm here. And also with this arm. This arm also needed to be a little bit more diagonal. This one I might even stick out a little bit more, actually. Let's do it. And, then just besides that, I wanted to make sure that the head had a slight angle to it. In fact, I think I could use a little bit more. But that would actually send it a little more this way. Just so it's not parallel to the top here. And then I wanted... I don't know, it's all about drama, right? So, I want everything to be nice and dramatic as well. So that's the hope there. So let's go ahead and just do one last little adjustment with this part of the sleeve. Send it over here. There we go. That's pulling it a little further this way, and I'll do the same with the elbow there. Okay. But yeah, just finishing the last little bits of composition here. But yeah, I think that this is about ready for the final bit of rendering. I might add a little bit more movement in the hair. But I think I don't know. I am actually starting to run out of time now with my just, let's do one more thinging. But what can I say? It's fun. If I were to... I just can't really see them until I outline them. But yeah, I'll probably add a few little strands coming out here. Something like this. Just, you know, keep things a little more interesting. No, it won't. All is well. Probably just doing a little bit more writing after this, because I only had 10 minutes to do my writing before stream today, and I cannot write 1,500 words in 10 minutes. I am not that good. But there we go. I do think it's ready. I do think it's getting pretty close. Any just last minute tiny adjustments that I want to make, I just figure I should do like right now. Ah, nah. Okay. Nah. I think I had that right. maybe? I don't know, just the shape doesn't read if I do that. So in that case, maybe I should take the shape. And while it may make it less accurate to what I'm trying to replicate here, and just move it a little bit over here. Okay. I like that. Okay. So yeah, I think I will stop here for today. Next time, I think we'll be ready for rendering. And hopefully that goes well. This style does tend to render pretty quickly, so I am hopeful. We'll see how much proportion of flailing I have to do. But this is where I will be stopping for today. So thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.